So Don's brought in a cooler with the coffee making supplies. Very important things. Come on, bud. Let's go. Come on. He was in the garage. It's cold out here this morning, and the water bowls are iced up. Come here, Tux. Let's go. Come on. Come here, buddy. He's got dry chow in the garage, so he may not be as hungry as some mornings. Come here, bud. Come on. Come on. Come on, bud. Come on. Tux. Tuxie, come on. Come on, bud. Gonna have to come get you. Okay, well, you work your way over there. Your food is in that direction. Hey, sweet boy. He goes, Mama, I'm trying so hard to stay warm this morning. I'm just trying to stay warm. Well, it's cold enough out here, but I don't think it got down to 19 like they were predicting at one point. The water bowl up here by the house is not iced up. Good morning, Ruby. Well, we've got a little bit of sky color out there this morning, 24 degrees. And there's a Tesla up there on the left in front. I want to catch a good look if it was a 3 or a Y. It's one of those. It's white. Had a special plate. I couldn't quite make it out. Johnny's sitting beside me with his laptop doing some more homework. That car wash / gas station did finally open there on the right. I noticed this morning that it's daylight brighter out earlier. You know, we really are starting to move back in the other direction now. St. Aug's has been virtual since they came back from Christmas break, and they're supposed to go back in person on Monday. I wonder if that's really gonna be the case or not. Johnny says a bunch of the kids are back in the, you know, dorm area living on campus, but not attending classes in person. It's a little odd. I guess for him, I hope, you know, he's got to come here anyway, that they're back to in person. So today is going to be a hectic day. Don has a 6-month follow-up with the dermatologist today. Hopefully he's not going to be asked to put that stuff on his head and face again. But if the guy needs him to do it, it's either now or wait until the fall, because you don't want to do that stuff in the middle of the summer. So I don't know. We'll see. I am meeting Michelle to go shopping today. I could really use it. I'm feeling good enough to hold the cart and hobble through the store for the normal 3-hour tour, so that'll be good. I did warn Michelle that I was limping a bit so she would not be surprised when she saw me. She's like, how'd you do that? And I'm like, well, it was a cat scratching post that was moved due to the Christmas tree that I just hadn't put back. If only I'd moved it back, right? So my foot, clearly it's a little better. And clearly it's not 100%. I still feel it pretty much with each step, but I'm not having to walk as carefully with my foot as I was. So better, but not better. And you know, the top of my foot near the last 2 toes, the pinky toe and the one next to it, is pretty bruised there too. So it's not just the toe, it's also the foot. But it's not swelling extensively, although it is purple. And, you know, I'm just hanging in there with it. I was off it a little bit yesterday. I'm sure you guys have watched the video, noticed that we didn't go for a walk, or I would have said so. Between the refrigerator repair guy being there for 5 hours, Dawn getting off work a little late, us having to deal with all the groceries that were sitting on the ground outside, we just never made it to even try to go for a shortened walk. So yeah, I only had a little over 5,000 steps yesterday instead of the normal 10 to 12,000 steps. Goodness, that's easy for me to say while I'm trying to yawn. I need my second cup of coffee. It's waiting for me at the house. I only ever have one before we leave. So yeah, and then Johnny and I got an errand to run after school, and then Taekwondo tonight. So it's just going to be boom, 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 boom busy. And you know, Dawn's contract is supposed to be sort of wrapping up by the end of February again. I say again because there have been several wrap-ups. It's just really hectic for him right now. It's only continued to intensify as we've moved on with the project. So I'm just trying to say is I hope we'll get out for a short walk at least today, even if it's not our normal walk, to stay in the routine like after I get in from school this afternoon. But I don't know. We'll just have to play it by ear. At 22 out there right now, I'm not rushing to get home and go for the walk. I'm over walking at under 30 degrees. It's just miserable cold out there. Besides, Don's got to take off to go to Cary for his appointment. So I don't think technically we have enough time to get in our walk this morning, even if we wanted to brace the cold. So what about that earnings call yesterday? I could hear a good bit of it from the kitchen. Don, he sat down and was watching it, and then he was asleep. So he'll have to rewatch or re-listen to it. We were watching Rob, and of course, you know, he had on the call, and then he had the talk afterward. And he does a great job of typing summaries along the way of what's being said, which I couldn't see from the kitchen. But I took it that no Cybertruck or Roadster or other new vehicle in 2022, because he felt that shipping a new vehicle would slow down their ability to ship vehicles with bringing these two gigafactories online. So obviously that was a little disappointing, but not a terrible shock. And then he said that he thinks the robot part, what do you call it, Optimus Prime? Of course he did. You know, that was really maybe where the business was going as far as the future of the business. And you know, I guess as a stockholder, with all these other EV manufacturers bringing EVs online, and I don't think demand is going down. I think it's just increasing exponentially, and there's sort of, you know, room for everybody. But obviously keeping the energy part of the business going, and then maybe this robot part of the business will be security for the stock for a while. So I certainly didn't see it as a negative, although I don't know, yesterday he was pretty set and pretty interested in it. Well, Elon can handle dabbling in a lot of things, and you know, the technology for full self-driving is not just for full self-driving, right? I think there's a lot of value add in that AI and machine learning and things that they're doing that extends beyond just driving the car down the road. Oh, and yes, I heard Elon say that FSD, he'd be shocked, I think was his words, if we didn't have FSD by the end of the year. And you know, it's good to have a goal. It's good to have a goal. So, and I think we've seen some hints of a few people out there driving around that may have a higher level of FSD than the rest of us had. Jules is still on 10.8. I understand some people have 10.9, but not Jules. So, we'll see. We'll see. One thing I feel totally safe in saying is that it will drastically improve over the course of 2022. The changes, the improvements, they're coming pretty hot and heavy now. So I feel comfortable personally saying that I think it will vastly, I said drastically, but vastly in a positive way improve between now and the end of the year. So that would be good. Oh, one other thing. I felt pretty puny at bedtime last night. I'm pretty sure from the shingle shot. I think it's possible I was cold, that I had a low grade. And I do mean low grade, not like the, you know, other shot, booster shot and second shot where I was pretty sick. Although they did warn me yesterday that when I go back for the second one, that one is usually more intense. And after my previous experience with the last shot we were required to have, or encouraged to have, I believe it. So I'll be scheduling it for Friday. And yeah, but I ended up giving in and taking 2 Tylenol, and I have to be pretty bad off before I'll take a couple Tylenol. And yeah, every joint, every muscle in my entire body ached, and my feet, where I have the small fiber neuropathy, is most noticeable. They kind of burned a little bit, but you know, hey, a day's worth of discomfort, you know, and the second shot a day or two, it'll be well worth it not having the shingles. So I'm not sorry I got the shot, but I was on the couch last night and I was like, oh God, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. So, and I'm pretty sure, since it was a few hours after the shot, that it was shot related. So it's better this morning. Yeah, it's better this morning. I got up for just a minute and you took my spot. Good thing I gotta leave to go meet Michelle. So I think I can squeeze on the end here with him. Yeah, I'm sorry, I tried to share. This is the turnstile that gets you into the amusement park. I'm missing one little cash register piece back here. Unfortunately, this goes with the Big Friends roller coaster set, which is retired now, and none of the other roller coaster pieces are there. Actually, there's one little brochure, park brochure tile that goes there too. This is from a party train set. I think I'm gonna leave it for animals going throughout the park. I'm headed to meet Michelle, but I found this, you know, I'm piecing back together all of these parts, and there's a lot of research involved in, like, I was looking for what set had this sticker, and it took me 15 or 20 minutes to figure it out. And it kind of looked like a roller coaster, a space ride, and a Ferris wheel all together. And that had me, anyway, it took a while to find it. But there's a little set here that's just a little go around the park food stand kind of thing. I'm probably going to put that together when I get home. It's a little project. You getting some water before you head back to your spot? Yeah, I thought you went underneath the culvert. I didn't mean to scare you. My leaving was bad timing, locking the front door and then taking off in the car. Hopefully he got a bit to eat. Oops. I left this coffee drink with cream in it on the back steps that I wanted to drink on my way to get Johnny this afternoon. Anyway, I'm turning around to go back and get it. I guess I was rushing and got distracted, and I guess after I made it, I should have set it in the car instead of just leaving it on the step. But these are the things you do when you don't have real refrigeration. I guess we are a little lucky that it's winter, because, you know, we can keep that cooler by the back door, and, you know, things aren't going to spoil immediately if they're not refrigerated outside. I mean, it's 32 degrees out there right now. If I leave that coffee out there any longer, it'll be frozen. Yeah, if I were Gypsy, I would be living underneath my front porch if I didn't want to deal with Panther and Gray. There are a few things in there that could be sort of comfortable to lay on. But he goes wherever he goes. I wouldn't say that he'll never. I'm just looking on the other side here. Right offhand, I don't see a gray tabby cat, but you know, he's not got colorings. I half think he lives in the ground underneath that tree. I saw raccoons in that hole one time, so I know it's excavated pretty big underneath there. Let you see how the building's coming along today while I talk coffee. I'm reading a new series of books, Poppy Creek by Rachel Bloom with an E on the end. I would classify it as tame romance. at any point, one of the gentlemen in the book, I will call him the grandfatherly figure, he roasts coffee beans, and they're talking about, well, pastries at the pastry shop and coffee beans like every other sentence in this series. I think my coffee consumption is up by an extra cup a day since I've been listening, and I really do prefer some sweetness with my coffee. I don't do well at all with black, and sometimes I can tolerate just cream, heavy cream, to soften it out, smooth it up. But I am the smooth, mild. I didn't say weak, but maybe weak. I am the. It's got to be. It can't have a bite to it, or I won't appreciate it. And I love coffee, but I just don't like the coffee Dawn likes. Dawn likes bold, rich, dark, black, you know, and I'm just like, that ain't happening in my lifetime. I don't know about it, but it's just not happening. So at any point, you know, I've had 2 cups today, and I have this other coffee with me to drink on the way to downtown, because quite frankly, I'll need another caffeine hit by then. These 5:30 mornings are killing me. Yeah, it's got caffeine in it, but it's not the most darkest, boldest, richest coffee ever. And it has heavy cream and a little bit of monk fruit. There's 2 jackets in. Okay, Michelle, you need an excuse. It's a bathroom cup. If only the mermaid were on the cup, right? I'm telling myself no on the pink picnic table because Don wouldn't understand why I would want that. We do real, we do mistakes, we do fun, we do second chances, we do hugs, we do forgiveness, we do loud, we do family, we do all right, love. It's your motto, Michelle. Eat diamonds for breakfast and shine all day. Friends are family, we choose. Those are a first. I've not seen corn candles before. Wow, that brings back some memories. My Aunt Teresa up in New Jersey got me my first ever Madame Alexander doll. And wow, the box, several birthdays in a row, showed up at my house. They got his and hers.
Yep, they're not very comfy though.
No? I guess it's a lazy boy look-alike. Yep. This is a maybe. We'll see. Okay, everybody all at once got rid of their fireplace screens. Yeah, the toy supply is just a little low this week. Maybe they'll have filled it up next week when we come. For me, it's my size. Definitely taking it home. The cart's starting to fill up now. We're finding some things. It was a little slow in the beginning, but we're on a roll now.
Love it.
We're thinking somebody donated it, so just to see if someone else would like to have the fun of untangling it. Speaking of coffee, old school. Well, it's a wrap for another week. How are we going to make it a week?
Look how light.
Yeah.
One store and then this is the other.
Yeah. They had not put out a lot of new stuff today, but they put out what they have, you know? People donate, the store's full. People don't donate, the store's less full. But I'm really happy with the couple of things I got.
Same here.
That one jacket, and I got a couple of Star Wars R2-D2 C3PO folders, and Ariel came away with some good clothes again. So, you know, this is our entertainment, whether we walk out with a bunch of stuff or not.
We catch up.
Yep, yep. Michelle listened well about my toe and the refrigerator, and yeah. I've got 30 extra minutes. No reason in particular, it just worked out that way today. So I'm here at the Walmart in Garner, and just gonna go in and walk around for a bit. And I thought I'd park in the Tesla section and also near the camera. I had a good time going in to browse. I am not in love with that particular Walmart store. I never have an awesome experience in there. Let's just leave it there. I am on time to get Johnny about to 12 p.m. He should be pleased with that. And it's nice and sunny out there. If only it were just a smidge warmer. Haven't heard anything from Samsung. And I figure it's just as well that they don't call me while I'm not around Dawn, so that we can both ponder whatever it is they're going to say to us. So that's why I haven't been in too much of a rush to try to call them while I was out, you know, out and about today. Because it would just be convenient if, you know, we basically could take the phone call together. Well, obviously I couldn't tell this morning coming from the other direction, but they've put up the brick siding on, I guess that would be the north side of the building. So it's coming right along. So we got like 35 minutes and we need to be back at Ruby.
Yeah.
So we don't have time no matter what for a full walk today anyway.
It's pretty.
It is pretty. It's not super warm, but it's pretty. But I could definitely notice an uptick in my foot not being super happy once I put my sneaker on. That extra, you know, fit up there near the corner. And I probably should have just worn my Crocs, because we're not doing terrain over here. You know, I don't need, I'm not running. It is making it hurt more for sure. Ouch. So Don fell asleep during the earnings call last night, but he has an assignment while I'm off with Johnny for a while. Don't fall asleep and watch Rob and the earnings call, so I can come home and ask you your opinions and thoughts on things, because people have said they're interested.
Well, all I can say, my initial impression is I bought some stock Monday.
Thinking it was going to go up after the earnings call?
So, you know, it went, so I wish I'd have held off till today and bought.
Right, exactly. As a matter too, you scrambled a little bit to transfer some funds over there.
Well, I put pretty much all our loose cash,
you
know, what little we had built up. Of course, that was before I knew I was going to buy us a new refrigerator.
We didn't hear from Samsung, but like I said, Don and I need to be in the same place for that phone call, and that just wasn't happening today. So tomorrow, either before or after his 11 o'clock call, I'll be home, and maybe they'll call or we'll call.
Yeah, well, we're living out of the cooler, but it's not too bad right now.
Right now it's okay, because it's, you know, hovering just above freezing, below freezing. Right, Don actually carried the cooler to the garage last night so my cream wouldn't freeze.
That's right. And it's supposed to snow?
Yeah, an inch. But we got another 17-degree night coming up. We got some cold. Yeah, I think it's going to snow and be an inch maybe, and then be 17 degrees. So for us, that's pretty cold.
That is.
Yeah, we're living, but you know, it would be much worse in the summertime if without the refrigerator. Right now, you know, my main thing that's important is the coffee cream, the heavy whipping cream being close at hand.
I haven't missed it a bit. I'm on 3 days fast now.
Yeah, I thought for sure he's at 70 hours.
Yeah, 70 hours.
Yeah, I thought he was going to eat dinner with us tonight, but he says he's feeling so good he's going to go one more day. Yeah, I was going to fast with him for at least 48, and I decided that between me hurting my foot and then the shingles vaccine making me feel a little puny, I just couldn't deal with that on top of it. So no, next time. I'll catch you next time. We went around 4 times. I'm somewhere close to 6,000 steps for the day, so at least I got outside and moved a little bit. I think part of the problem I was having yesterday was with no movement, I was just starting to tighten up. I really need to move. It really does help manage pain. And I got 10 minutes to get to the house, so we're good. We're good. So a little over a mile, I guess a mile and 1.19 was what it said, and a little over 30 minutes, like 32 minutes. Okay, 2022.4 is ready for Ruby to download and install. That'll be the second software update this week, and Jules ain't had nothing for a while. We're still on 10.8 on Jules. Don said he did drive FSD to the chiropractor without me today.
To the dermatologist, yes.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did really well.
That was all the way to Cary and back, by the way. Over by Whole Foods.
Yeah, I took over several times. Nothing. She didn't do anything really bad. The only thing she did bad of the super intersection, she followed the dotted line.
Yeah, well, you know you can't come up down 55.
Well, right. Well, I knew, but I told myself, I said, well, look, there's nobody beside me. This is an unusual situation. So I can, if she wants to follow the line, I'll let her follow the line. And she did. She followed the line. So now I was in the other lane. You know, I was in the right lane, and then she followed the dotted line to the left lane. Oh well, but she didn't do anything. That was probably the worst thing she did. Everything else was pretty reasonable.
And you knew to expect that, because even Ruby does that. That's not a FSD problem.
Been there, done that. That's right. That'll be one of the last things they fix. I've been noticing this guy's thinning down pretty nice here. He's getting a little skinny.
I've dropped Johnny off. I'm going to go home. Dawn's going to come back and pick him up. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and install now. This is 2022.4. And, you know, Ruby's got over an hour before she'll start charging. So now's as good as ever. So did you get something watched?
Yeah.
Are you informed now?
Yeah, I watched several highlights, and one of them is just clips of the meeting without commentary. So the solving the money problem guy out, he did a good job just taking the earnings call, and cutting out and just putting the clip after clip with no commentary, and I like that. That worked well. So I guess the financials are the financials. I wish we had waited a couple days to buy the stock, since apparently the stock market didn't appreciate the earnings call or whatever. But we had bought some stock earlier this week, so our money's tied up. Anyway, at this point, I think Tesla, Elon was very clear. They're focusing on getting the increase in production by at least 50% or more this year. And that basically means 50% production just on the Model Y and the Model 3. Now, they also, Drew commented that the X and the X have definitely helped. But this great big output is Model Y driven and Model 3. And Elon said, you know, there's a lot more there to go. And I totally agree that the $25,000 car would have been just a distraction. There is no possible way it would have had anything other than slow down the production rate. It would have taken away resources from Model 3 and Y, so there's no reason to do the $25,000. Elon was basically saying, you know, it was the wrong question. Maybe we don't even need the $25,000, because autonomy is going to take it over. It'll be so cheap to take a robo-taxi that who'd want to own a car, or, you know, even a $25,000 car. So I can't picture that, but Elon's a really smart guy, so I'll yield to him on that. The thing about the Optimus Prime.
Poor Don. Pop culture, science fiction.
I wouldn't do well. Interesting. I don't know. First of all, I'm sure it can be built. I'm sure Tesla can make use of them, but I think they're going to be extremely expensive. And but the price will come down. But the chances of Mary and I having our own Optimus Prime running around taking care of us in our old age, I say that's the. I'll take the under on that one. The over under, I'll take the under on that. It ain't gonna happen. But I could see it happening. But the thing is, it's going to replace labor, and that's all well and good. But folks, we already have problems with people. I mean, Elon can't get enough really great, smart engineers. Do I want to go to college and get a master's degree in engineering and do all that stuff just so I could go? I don't know that I want to work that hard. I think I'd rather chase girls and stuff. If I was a young guy, I'd want to do other things other than read through and work quadratic equations and all these other things. I just don't see that how when we have robots to take care of the labor, that's going to free us up to do more creative labor. I don't think so. I think guys are pretty lazy. Maybe women might be different, but guys, I think we're pretty lazy. So I don't know how that's going to work, because we need jobs. You know, you got to have a reason. I mean, nobody's going to pay us to stand around or sit around and watch YouTubes. But so I'm not actually for this robo thing so much, Maximus Prime. I think it's probably a mistake.
We were watching the toys from the 80s last night, and Transformers was in the list. Yeah. And Don, I don't think he's ever held a Transformer in his life, because he's just too old.
Right.
My boys are, I'm too young for them, plus I'm a girl. But I know what they are, at least. My boys were never into them. They were sort of past by the time the boys came along. Although they do still make them, but they're not the same as the 80s.
Right. I would think that his other thing with the implants in the mind, I know that's not Tesla.
Right.
I would see that being something of more useful, because then you could, all this boring book learning or something, maybe you could just pump it into, do like the Matrix and pump it into the brains, and then you don't have to go to school for all this time. Anyway, but that's off topic. The biggest disappointment, and I am actually, this is, I guess, really she probably could cut out all that other stuff and just put this in. The Cybertruck. Look, he was, the roadmap, a lot of people commented, he said basically nothing about the Cybertruck except for, I guarantee you it ain't shipping this year. And I take Elon at his word. It's not shipping this year. And I think between the time he made that announcement about the big roadmap thing and the earnings call, I think that Silverado being announced and GM showing what they're doing, I think he went back to the drawing board. He even said it. I think he actually said why it's not going to ship this year, and folks might miss it. He said he wants a fully integrated home heating and air conditioning system, power system, backup system, the car. He wants that whole one package, everything integrated. And I think this concept of using your Cybertruck as a power source, and I don't mean a little 2 kilowatt or 5 kilowatt power source, but I mean enough to run your entire house at like 20 kilowatts. That's what's going to be required. So I think that he's going back to the drawing board. I think the Midgate with the Silverado made him basically stopped in cold turkey. That if he had decided that the Midgate wasn't a good idea, because obviously he knew about it, I think he went back and said, no, we're going to have to do it. I think GM's little, even though people gave them a lot of crap because a lot of it was CGI, I think they showed the power of that Midgate and how that makes your truck everything you want it to be. A real truck, and also a real comfortable vehicle to drive around in. It gives you the best of both worlds. So I think he's gone back. And plus the $39,000 or $40,000, the low price, and in today's inflation, he's having troubles making that number. And so I think that this is why it's all been delayed, pushed back. He's kind of made him go back. It wasn't. People might have thought, or he might have thought, when he made that announcement, the Cybertruck's going to announce a roadmap, that pencils were down. But I think he made him pick up the pencils and go back, and that's why it's being delayed.
Well, I had one thought. The thing that came to my mind is, I don't remember exactly when Ford or Chevy says they're going to have their truck ready, like their first delivery. What that is sometime in 2022 for Ford. I think, I don't know what it was.
Oh, it's
let's
coming
not
soon for Ford.
Right,
yes.
But before Chevy, before the Silverado, the F-150 Lightning, but none of these people, not even Elon, has control over the entire supply chain. Awesome. And I think that You know, I just think that that's a possible impact there. I don't think, it's not like all hope is lost. No one will ever buy a Cybertruck because Ford shipped first. And then I'm not even sure they're going to ship first because, you know, what you want to do and what you can get supplies to build to do is totally, and workers that are willing to work and is all, you know, it's one thing to have even a great product if you can't get it down the production line. So
yeah, and make money at it.
And make money. Yeah, yeah. Well, and I pray, I mean, and this is sincere as I can be, that they get out there when they do. Even Tesla's new battery formulas, that they're as reliable and safe and everything. Because, you know, with what happened with the Bolt, we need people to want and trust EVs. We can't afford mishaps with the batteries. Have got to be, you know, spot on. So
I think there's a lot to it. People, the chip shortage is going to affect how much Ford and GM can do. The battery shortage, they're not building enough batteries. The fact that somebody may beat Tesla with the truck to market, it's sort of like, did the Bolt beat the Model 3 by, well, really amounts to about a year. It was officially 7 months, but that made no difference whatsoever. I mean, the fact that the Bolt was there, and the Bolt had some pretty good specs. I mean, you know, that 235 miles was a serious mileage. It was more than the 200 miles promised with the Model 3, and I always said that I thought Elon was going to have to bump up. He wasn't going to give Chevrolet an easy win. In those early days, he let Chevy had the easy win on the Bolt. Eventually, he eclipsed that number, but they had the easy win. You could argue this right now with the Ford Lightning and the Silverado. I don't think the Silverado is going to be new. I think the Cybertruck is going to be way out before the Silverado is. But the Lightning is imminent, and he's just going to let Ford have that little win of getting the truck out first, and you know, take that to the bank that you got the first 5 trucks built. You built them and sold them. You did good, or 500. You know, Tesla's, you know, he's saying, well, we're going to build 250,000, and you haven't heard anybody say any number anywhere near that. I think the current estimate, Ford's doubled their production up to maybe 80,000. And, you know, these are 80,000 very tight profit margin vehicles. They sell about 1 million F-150s a year. And you take 80,000, you got to assume that million they're not going to sell 1 million gasoline or internal combustion trucks, and then on top of that an additional 80,000. You've got to believe that the 80,000 is going to come out of the million, so they're only going to sell 920,000. Well, they're going to probably break even or lose money on every Lightning. So that's going to, that big cash cow called the pickup truck, that's going to hurt their profitability for a while, and they have to ask themselves how long they can hold out that way, and because it's going to show up really quick on their bottom line.
Well, my chiropractor is into horses. She both does chiropractic on animals, I think on the weekends mostly, and has a horse trailer and goes riding and goes to shows and all that stuff. She said there was a lot of discussion in her horse groups about whether anybody would be willing to tow their horse trailer with the F-150 Lightning. Yeah. And, you know, I told her a couple of, you know, the real deal with, you know, even range. Towing range. I mean, I guess Ruby haul a horse trailer, a small one, a 2-horse horse trailer, as well as any F-150 Lightning would. Yeah, so she's, you know, because I think she had the use case of, well, I need to go 500 miles in a weekend and haul horses, and that's not going to work with probably any of the current ones. She says you can't be on the side of the road charging because the horses get hot in the summertime. You got to stay in motion. Just very short stops. They need the air.
I didn't know that. Makes sense.
You know, they can't afford to be stopped charging for a half an hour or an hour because the horses get too hot.
It's like being in a car.
But she had a lot of good questions about EVs and stuff, and I obviously answered honestly, just like I would anybody else that answered, and was happy to at least that they're thinking about it. But they, you know, there's a lot of, you know, what use case will any of these be, and hopefully, job site, you know, will be something that will work, and running your tools and staying warm or staying cool or whatever this is. But
well, if I can't use my Cybertruck to power my house in a outage, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm going to look at that big battery in that Cybertruck, and I'm going to get awful upset.
Right.
So I think Ford and GM both, and there's no technical reason why Tesla cannot do this and just literally do it the way Ford did it, which is put the inverter on the wall and just use the cable that you normally get the AC out. Just take that, feed it the DC out through that. I mean, there's no problem doing that. It's just a matter of having the thing on the wall, and I think it's about $10,000 that's set up from Ford to get that access to your the inverter on the wall. And there's no reason Tesla couldn't do that with the Powerwall.
Right.
Which is what I was saying. They've got this Elon's already seen it in his mind of the tightly integrated entire home energy solution. He's already got it, and it's more than just having solar panels and a Powerwall. That's not everything you need.
Well, I'll be waiting, Donnie.
Yeah.
After this latest power outage, it's either push for a Generac or wait for the Cybertruck and power the house. And I guess since we missed out on that one Powerwall, wait for the Cybertruck is probably, at this point. We've waited for a while. You know, we've gone through with the little gas generator for years now. And what's another year or two while we wait for the maybe the ultimate solution.
Right. Well, it's just, and plus it's the cost.
Yeah.
And you know, when you don't have a job and your guy's sitting at home, you got to have your battery backup for you, so you watch your YouTubes and stuff like that. But you know, I don't know how you're gonna get the money to buy it. I mean, even if it's 5 times cheaper than it is now, I just don't see how. I'm really worried about that labor thing. I don't know that that's the right answer.